it wasn't the shooting performance that you were hoping for. When you have a shooting performance that you're not really looking for, but you have the defense that you did in the first half, how does that balance out?
Well, we just lost a little focus second half. I mean, first half it was fine. We didn't shoot it all that well, but we defended. I mean, that was our biggest strength. Second half, we just kind of stopped doing that. I give them credit. They lowered their head, started penetrating on us, and we didn't handle it very well. And we also ran 13 players in and out, and that's never that easy to kind of get synergy. So I would give them the credit, and then they hit some threes. The kid kind of went off, and we were slow to adjust to her, and I don't think she's made nearly that many in her career. I'm not sure, but that was one I didn't have on the bingo card. But anyway, again, give them credit. But in the same token, we had some players really play well tonight. I thought Katie Fiso, did a great job, got us started, and then, in the second half, she became more of a distributor, and that was nice. I don't know how many turnovers they end up with, a bunch, right? Yeah, well, yeah. So, if we had 30 assists, 6 turnovers, we'll take a 5-to-1 ratio anytime. I think it really came down to our lack of intensity in the second half defensively, and then just, a tough night shooting the three.
First half, you guys only allowed 18 field goal attempts against. You've already kind of mentioned the turnovers, but just for first game of the season, when maybe you guys are still looking for your own shot, what did that defensive intensity mean to you on the sideline?
Well, I don't know how many points off turnovers we had in the first half. Do we have a total? It was a lot, right? 20-something? Yeah. But in the first half, and we're going to have to do that with our defense. We're just not going to out-muscle people. We're not going to be bigger than most teams. So we're going to have to create some stuff off our defense, and that kind of got us out and going. We just, like I said, kind of had a tough night. I thought we had great looks. I mean, we had a lot of practice threes, and they just didn't go tonight. That's going to happen.
You talked about the pace a lot, the upper 70s in possessions in this game, and obviously you turned them over a lot. Do you guys have a goal number of possessions you want per game? Is high 70s kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's funny, those teams that actually run a ton, their possessions aren't that much more, So yeah, anything in the high 70s I think is a pretty quick game. Now tonight we didn't draw fouls, and that's always been one of our strengths up until now. We've got to do a better job of that. I thought we were just settling for a lot of jump shots. But yeah, we want to play a high possession game. It's hard to put a number on it because some nights, and I thought they did a good job of taking shot clock, and when they didn't turn it over, they made baskets, right? And we never really got them in that second half to kind of speed up. And but there are going to be nights when we're going to get really high possessions because the other team's going to want to go with us.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about Mia's performance and just kind of her picking her spots, 7 and 12. Just kind of never felt like it was the loudest points, but
yeah,
pretty effective.
Yeah, she had a nice stretch in the, I think, was it third quarter? After the second time when they came in the third quarter, I think. Yeah, she's going to be that way. She's not a flashy player, but she's a very productive player. Yeah, I would have thought she would have gotten a few more rebounds tonight. But, yeah, all in all, a good game. I thought Katie played a really good game. Sarah got in foul trouble, so she didn't play a ton, but I thought she was okay too. We had some players play well. Again, I think it came down to like we've already talked about.
How deep are you comfortable with Sarah shooting? True freshman, I think she was just a couple feet in front of the logo on one of those. And
if it's in the half court, she can shoot it, and she can really shoot it. That is
just your freshmen coming in, and both of them, weren't afraid to shoot today. What did you make of just how they came in their first official action?
Yeah, I think it was great. It's good to see them both get their first, real college baskets, and they're both really good players. And we don't want them to, just because you miss a few, you don't want to, tell them to quit shooting or anything like that. You just got to let them go and hope that they get on a roll. But yeah, it was really good to see that they, in their first game, real game, did what they did. So.
Yeah, and Mia and Avery both not afraid to shoot the free ball, even though they might have not made as many as you hoped. Can you talk about the threat that they present to?
Well, there are going to be some games, and we've had a couple. The Seattle U game, and then the other night where we've been, we made a ton, 14 and 19 in those two games, and so we're going to have some of those nights too. But we just have to rely on sounder defense. A lot more toughness. I thought they were driving. We didn't step in and take a single charge tonight. You know, those kind of things we just got to do on the nights that we're not shooting it well.
This is the 12th time and 12 tries that you've won your season opener with Oregon. Basketball, in a sense, kind of seems like it starts in the middle of the night, you know, and by the time people come off football, it's like, oh, they played a bunch of games. But for you, in the like starting the season, what's your favorite part about today, and like what will you take away with you from like this season opener?
Well, you can take a deep breath knowing, okay, we got this thing started, and, you know, and I think we've got a pretty good basketball team. To me, the highlight is everybody got in and most scored. I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it close enough. But everybody had a chance, you know, and they got in and did what they do, and we can build on it. Also gives us some videotape. There's some things we got to get better at. Now we can show them. You know, we've got to do this better and this better. But we did this well and this well, so let's keep doing this. So that's what it's for, opening night. And I thought the fans were good. I'd love to see our students come out and really get into it because they make a big difference. I think and I think we're going to play kind of a fun style of basketball that they might enjoy. So we'll keep working at it.
How do you move from making those like 5-player substitutions early in the season to figuring out what your kind of units are going to be later in the season?
Well, we didn't make those until the second half. And that was my decision. I didn't like how we started the second half, and so we went 5 in, 5 out. Typically, you don't do that, but in games like this, it's no harm. You're trying to play everybody and trying to get them meaningful minutes. It's hard to do that 1 or 2 at a time, substitution-wise. Yeah. Yep.
Season, can you sort of touch on her performance?
Oh, she's been great. Yeah, she's been doing this all fall. Struggled a little bit tonight. I think then when she got back in, she was kind of pressing, took a couple shots maybe she didn't want to take, right? But she's been great, you guys. She has really improved. I'm really proud of her. You know, I think in this day and age, for someone who had been in a lesser role, they like to just then go to a new place. And she kept working at it. And, you know, she's in the gym a lot on her own, which is great, and it's paying off. You can tell she's just better. She's more confident. She's enthusiastic, plays really hard, and runs the floor well. So she's conducive to the style we're trying to play.
Talked about it this past Thursday, just the strength in numbers. We saw you play 13 again today, all 13 finding the bottom of the basket. How important is that going to be, that depth, as we get further and further along into a really long season?
Well, ask Dan Lanning. You know, I mean, the more they play now, those are reps that you can save, you know, some legs that you can save for later in the year. We hope this is a long season. And so, if, you know, we can give a few minutes here and there over the course of a long season, and that just saves some so we can be stronger late. And plus, right now, I think we have a lot of players that are worthy of getting some time on the floor, and we're going to find out soon enough, you know, who's really for real and who still needs some work.
Is there a certain time would you like to have that sort of mapped out? I know.
No. Yeah, good question, but no. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.